Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Rebecca and today we're going to do a yoga flow for the inflexible people. So go ahead, you're going to need a set of 2 blocks today, a yoga mat and something comfortable. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and join me in our easy seated pose with our hands on our knees, and roll your shoulders back onto your back. Make sure your spine is in line with your tailbone and that your head is over your heart. And we're just going to start with just breathing in and out for 5 breaths. So we're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Really big inhale this time. Inhale. Last one, let's breathe in through our mouth, out through our nose. All right, we're going to look up and down, and we're going to use our breath as we do it. So we're going to look down, and we're going to inhale, look up, exhale, look down, inhale, look up, exhale, down, inhale, look up, exhale, look down, inhale, up, exhale, down, inhale, up, exhale, down. Okay, we're going to do some neck rolls. Okay, so we're going to inhale when we look down and exhale looking up. And I'm going to do 5 of those, and then we're going to switch our inhales. So inhale. Reverse. All right, come back to center. We're going to come into tabletop position, and we're going to do our cat-cow sequence. So come on over and come into tabletop. Your legs right under your hips, hands underneath your shoulders with your elbows rotated out. And we're just going to make sure that our tailbone our belly button is pulled up towards our spine. And we're going to do this on an inhale and exhale. So inhale, drop into cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Last one. Really make it count. Inhale, drop it as low as you can. Exhale, stretch it up as far as you can go. And then come back down. Okay? So bring your legs back just a little bit, and we're going to walk those hands forward. You can bring your block and just put your head on the block. And we're just going to stay here for a couple breaths. This is called puppy pose. This is really good on your back and your upper body. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Come back up into tabletop position. Let's grab both of our blocks here because you're going to need one for each hand. We're going to come up into downward facing dog. And this is a great way to get yourself closer to the earth. So you want to tuck your toes under, and we're going to inhale and we're going to come up into downward facing dog. You can have your knees still bent here if you need, but we're going to come into down dog and inhale and exhale. Don't forget to breathe while you're in this position. This is one of those positions that a lot of people forget to breathe. And inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. Inhale, slowly walk your feet to the front of the mat. And we're going to keep our blocks here and we're going to bend our knees. And we're just going to come into our forward fold. And we're going to inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. We're going to slide our hands up the fronts of our legs and we're going to come into a halfway lift. And you want to make sure that you're keeping your neck in line with your spine. You don't want to drop it. You don't want to be looking forward because you don't want to put any too much pressure on your neck. So inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale. Come back down, hands on your blocks. We're going to get used to using our blocks today. And you can, if it's too much or if you need a little bit more space, you can come up with your blocks up and down as well. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We're going to bring those blocks flat, and then again we're going to slide our hands up our legs, flat back, head stretched out. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Slide back down to our forward fold. Knees bent as much as you need. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. We're going to rise up. So just bring your hands up the front of you, rise up slowly, slowly, and we're just going to lift our hands straight up and down. And inhale and exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, bring your hands down. And on your exhale, come back down to forward fold. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Slide your hands slowly up the front of you as we come on up, back up to our hands above our heads. Inhale and exhale. You can kind of give yourself a little twist if you need it. And exhale. Inhale. As you bring your hands down and exhale, come all the way down into your forward fold. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Step your right foot back. Drop your knee. Bring your foot flat, making sure that this leg is at a 90-degree angle. You can spread your blocks out if needed and come into your low lunge. You can step forward a little if you want a little bit more of a stretch. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Bring this back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Bring that left leg back again. Same side, same way, but your right leg is at a 90-degree angle and your back leg is flat on the floor. And bring your blocks to your sides and stay in your low lunge. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Bring that foot to meet your front foot again. Blocks in front. Inhale, and we're going to come up to mountain pose. So inhale, rise up. Okay, we're just going to stand in mountain pose. I'll turn so you guys can see mountain pose. I like to keep my legs hip width apart in mountain pose, but you can zip them up if you want and your hands at your side. I like to spread mine a little wider and bring my hands out to shine out. So inhale and exhale. All right, we're going to step our feet a little wider. We are going to do a lot of standing positions today. Some of them, the wider they are, the easier they are to stay in the position and the less it'll take off your hips. So we're going to stand with our arms on our waist. We call this this will be our power pose. And so we're just going to do a forward fold and keep your blocks where they're accessible. So we're going to inhale and we're going to fold forward, okay? And just bring your blocks to this position. We're just going to fold forward and we're going to keep our backs flat and head straight out in front of us. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come up, back up to our power pose. We're going to shift our left foot to facing forward and we're going to bring our right foot at a 90-degree angle. And we're just going to bend forward through that left foot and we're going to twist over and we're just going to bring our hands down and move forward just a little bit, okay? We're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come up. We're going to just try to pull your hands down to the ground. And exhale. We're trying to keep our body straight up and down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. We're going to lean a little bit back. You can bend in this knee if you need to, but keeping this one, and you can adjust your posture if needed and lean back. Okay, inhale, and we're going to slide our right hand down our leg. We're going to slide our right hand down our leg And our left arm's going to come up above us into peaceful warrior. Inhale, hands to the waist. We're going to still keep that bend. Come up into warrior two. Hands straight. You want to keep that torso straight up and down, and you want to keep your arms flying out like somebody's pulling you in opposite directions. You're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to inhale. We're going to put this arm, and we're going to put our right arm on our waist and bring our left arm straight up and down while we stay in the warrior pose. Inhale, arms back out to warrior, but we're going to wrap the left over the right as we stand in eagle arms. And this time we're going to switch around into just our power legs. Inhale, we're going to inhale, and we're going to come down into a side twist. This is where you can use your block and come into a side twist. And we're going to angle that arm over as well. Inhale, we're going to bring that foot straight forward, and we're just going to come into a side bend over our left leg. Inhale, we're going to bring our feet straight in front of us with our blocks into our forward fold, our wide-legged forward fold. Just make sure you're breathing as we hold this position. I need to adjust my feet a little. Anytime you need to adjust or wiggle back and forth, just make sure that you're not locking in those knees. You can wiggle back and forth as much as you need. Inhale, twist on that front right foot. We're going to come in and we're reversing our flow. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Bring that block forward. We're just going to come in and bring that arm straight over us. Inhale. And don't forget to keep this leg from locking. Even if you have to keep a slight micro bend in that leg, don't lock your front knee. Inhale. Come up to this position, our modified warrior. Our knees are not bent and we're looking forward. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So let me move my block so you can see my feet. So back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Front foot is facing straight forward. So we're going to inhale and we're going to wrap our right arm over our left this time. If you can't, just get it as far as you can. Even if you have to give yourself a little bit of a hug for this position, if you can't get your hands to wrap around themselves, just give yourself a nice hug. Oh, my arms are all twisted. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bend that front right knee. Bring your hands to your waist, and we're just going to bring that right arm up as we stand in our somewhat modified Warrior Two. And inhale and exhale. Making sure that this leg is never bending in. You want to keep it pretty straight. Okay, we're going to come into Warrior Two. Remember, keeping that torso straight up and down and looking out over your right hand. If you have to, don't lean into it. Keep your torso straight up and down, spine over, in line with the hips, head over heart, and look out over that right hand. And inhale and exhale. You can kind of look back and forth if needed. My neck's a little bit stiff this morning. I feel like I slept a little wrong. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Bring your hands to your waist like we're kind of a superhero. And we're just going to kind of arch back towards the left. And we're going to inhale. And at any time you can straighten that leg if needed, if you're getting too much pressure on that front leg. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Slide that left hand down. Bring your right arm up and over and inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Straighten through that front leg. We're going to rotate around. Clasp your hands behind your back and lean back if you can. And inhale, look up at the sky. Hopefully you have something nice to look at. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Come up straight. Rolling those shoulders back. Kind of trying to pull your hands down as much as you can down your back. Inhale and exhale. My hands are kind of slipping apart. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, we're going to lean forward. You do not have to shift your hands up. Lean forward. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Shift around. Both feet are facing forward. You can bring them together a little bit if you want, and we're going to come into our forward fold. And we're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We're going to set these aside and come down on our knees, and we're going to come into our seated position. I'm just going to flop my blocks out, and we're going to come into staff pose with our feet straight out in front of us, and we're just going to bring our hands to our sides and kind of face them back. You can bring them back to your back if you need to. If it's giving you tension on your shoulders, you can come with your hands on your pants. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. You can also grab your blocks if needed with your hands behind you, and just to take the pressure off your shoulders and your upper back, and you can bring them here. Okay, we're going to inhale. We're going to do a little bit of a forward fold, but we're going to bring our blocks and we're going to fold into this position. Inhale and exhale. You can bring them out a little if you want, just to get a little bit more of a stretch. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. We're going to bring our legs as wide as them, a little bit wider than the mat, and we're going to do a wide-legged seated forward fold. So again, you can have your blocks. You can bring your block. You can grab your toes if you want, but I'm just going to sit in this position for you guys. And inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, inhale. We're going to stretch over to the right. We're just going to give it just a little bit of a stretch. Kind of interlace your fingers on your knee. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Walk our fingers over to our leather leg, our left leg, and inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Come back to center. We're going to move our blocks completely out of the way, and we're going to come into our Shavasana pose. So go ahead, lay back on your mat. Let's keep our legs as wide as our mat today, and just stay here, and just relax through your toes and your feet. Relax through your calves and your knees and your thighs and your hips, and just through your body. We're going to go through and we're going to tense each area. So flex your toes down, flex your feet up. Okay, lock your knees with your feet flexed up. Okay, clench your butt together. Okay, tighten through your abs. Bring your hands up, stretch your hands, and then bring them in and wide open. Okay, and then just try to bring your shoulder blades up underneath your back. Bring your back a little bit up off the floor, and then lower down. Bring your neck, look behind you, look next to you, look the other way. Okay, look straight up and down. Look to the right without moving your head. Look to the left without moving your head. Look up. Look down. Close your eyes. Okay. We're going to inhale. And when we exhale, we need to open our mouth wide and stick our tongue out and make noise with our throats. So inhale. Exhale. Just lay here. Just see how your body's feeling in this moment. See if there's any areas that hurt or if you find any discomfort. Never go any farther than your body can take you. Yoga is all about how well your body feels, not about how far you can go into each stretch. So just remember that as we lay here for a minute. And just relax our bodies. When I'm in this pose, I like to keep my hands on my belly. Some people, you can keep your hands on the side. You can give yourself like a micro hug needs to hug themselves. We all need to love ourselves more. So, all right, I'm going to come sitting up. You guys can stay on the floor if you'd like. And thank you guys for coming. I appreciate all of your support. You are amazing. You are great. And have a blessed and wonderful day. And again, thank you for your support and your encouragement all the time.